Hello and welcome to Cash Grab, the podcast where we go through different franchises and the games they spawn and decide whether they are cash grabs or not.
Dad, you did so well, but Tom fucked it.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Steph.
Take 7, we're going with that one. I don't know, I lost count.
It's fine. Oh my god, that is absolutely fine.
I don't even know what was so funny about that whole intro moment, but it was good.
I think you get to a point where you've played such a degree of shit video game.
Excuse me, you mean amazing video game?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
talking about the previous video games, we're not ruining anything for this.
Yeah, and I think it kind of sends you into a mild delirium. At least that's where I think I stand.
Oh, well, that's definitely where I stand.
Yeah.
I'm on the floor.
What's that look for? like you're about to peel the skin off his face. What's that about? You need to calm down, mate.
I don't even know.
What? Come at me, bro. I mean...
I think the game has sent us a bit delirious.
Oh my
It
god!
really fucking
This is
has.
the best game I think we've played so far. I really do.
Debatable. Right, so what have we all been up to then?
Right, I've been looking for some new work, so I've been busy, but I have ordered, just ordered, Nier Automata. So
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
I'm looking very forward to it. I think it's up my street.
Yeah?
It's a bit philosophical and all that, but
Wait, that's on the PS4.
yes.
Yeah, Dan's got a PS4.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't bought that many games for it, just because I bought it finally, and I got a couple of games in a package. I think it was Black Friday.
I was expecting a flag at the end of that.
Last
last year.
No, couldn't be last year, was it?
Was it a year ago?
It was, because I went to Germany. I've been away. That's why I hardly ever get around to playing PS4, and I just go back to PS2 because I've got all those games already, and I don't have to pick and choose.
Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've really played on there is Crash Bandicoot. Played the shit out of that.
Oh yeah,
The Insane
Trilogy.
And there's a few things that Matthew, my brother, had.
I thought
Shadow
you-
Colossus. We've been swapping that over.
Oh, I thought you'd like the Nier Automata when it came out as well. I thought that was up.
I'm looking very forward to it.
It's meant to be very good.
Are you looking forward to the new Shadow of the Colossus remake?
It's a
That's why I was
yeah.
read Shadow of Mordor, but
Oh.
Shadow of Colossus remake, that's definitely on the list as well.
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
can't
forward
wait.
to that,
I never
'cause-
played it on PS2.
Well, I tried to play the
No, I
PS3 HD remaster, and it was just the controls were so bad that I wasn't willing to give
Quite
it a chance.
dated, yeah.
And I know it's supposed to be one of the best games ever and all this shit, but like I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't get on with it. So I feel like this is finally a lot of people. I think this is going to be their in. So they better not fuck it up.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
No.
And I think that's what I like sometimes, that I do take my time and I get the consoles when they come out a bit later, just because, not aside from the price, of course, that's one thing.
But let the library build up.
Let the library build up, and then also some things that I would have bought, like the PS3 remaster for, I don't have to waste the money on because if they could just bring it out again, it's like the same with like Grand Theft Auto. They bring it out on PS4. I've got to possibly get that if I want.
So
But I'm
who's,
quite happy with the PS3.
who's going to sign the petition for the Shrek Extra Large collection for PS4 then?
Me all over it right now. As soon as I can.
This petition has
that's what I've been
received
up to.
one signature.
Yes. And only one. Tom?
Well, hey Steph, how about you tell me what you've been up to first, and then I'll tell you what I've been up to second.
Okay.
How's that for a game?
Or it might just been a bit of asbestos. That's probably fine.
Asbestos. No, not. We spend a lot of money on this shed. I hope it's not an
Studio.
Sure.
The studio.
This shed.
We've spent lots of money on this studio. This is a professional shed.
Podcast shed.
Sorry,
Podcast.
Something that dropped out the
Pod
corner
shed.
of my eye. It's probably just a bit of...
It's probably a spider.
It's
We've
probably
got loads of
one of our spiders we invited in. or wood lice. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 on the Switch.
And is it as fantastic as Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U?
It's exactly as fantastic.
But
if
better
not
looking.
Better.
But it looked fantastic.
On the
We're
Wii U,
using
it
the
was
word
great.
fantastic
Yeah.
a lot.
But on the Wii U, it was great.
Fantastic.
And this is basically... I don't know. I don't even know if they've upped the graphics at all. I can't really
hope
tell.
they
to be
did.
honest. No, but it looks sweet on the Wii U. Like
It
Mario
does.
Kart looks
It
really
does.
nice
It's crisp
on the Wii
as
U.
anything. Yeah.
But they've added a few extra characters. I don't think they have added any more tracks. They've added the DLC pack from Mario Kart
Like
8.
the F-Zero and Hyrule.
Yeah. And
It's really good DLC actually.
Yeah, and you can now carry they've added little bits like battle mode. You can now carry 2 weapons at a time rather than one. All little details. You can do extra power skids.
You know what I really miss? Double Dash.
Yeah, that was cool.
I really fucking love Double Dash.
It'd be
Did you
nice
play
if they
Double Dash?
added that in.
It was brilliant. It was
Yeah,
the
it was good
GameCube
fun.
Mario Kart.
It
And
was good because you
always
could
2 characters.
Yeah, and if you had a friend who wanted to play but was not very good, then you could just be like, oh, you just go on the back and fire the weapons out, and they enjoyed it as well whilst you drove.
Yeah.
So they would get a lot out of it as well
You
as
could
you.
switch
but...
if you wanted to as well. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really
awesome.
good. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Especially because you can. So when I'm taking it to work, if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm not driving. Someone else is. I could just pull that out and play some Mario Kart. Even put it on the side if we're in the 3-seater van. 2 of us can play.
It's awesome.
Perfect. It's perfect Switch on the go game because
So
you can just have a
awesome.
couple of races and then you're done. Yeah, and especially the GameCube adapter works with it, so you can use GameCube controllers on it.
So it's
So I've already got 2 of them, so I'm instantly got 4-player.
I love the
straight
GameCube
away on a
controller.
So good.
On a
Yeah, I
brand new
love
console.
GameCube. One of my favourite controllers.
Yeah.
such a vague thing to say, isn't it? Probably one of my favourite controllers. It's like, what are your choices?
That's quite
Seen a few.
PlayStation, which hasn't really changed much. Xbox, which has always stayed the same.
I hate Xbox.
No, Xbox have changed a bit.
Do you remember the original Xbox
Yeah,
ones?
that
And they
thing
had
was
black
massive.
and white buttons on it. Do you remember they had
Yeah.
4 black and white buttons? It was like, you could probably launch a Russian probe satellite into space with an Xbox controller.
Well, they use Xbox 360 controllers, and I think now Xbox One controllers to control drones.
You know.
So yeah. Did you want to talk about what you're doing then, Tom? Or not?
It's a secret.
I am doing a new playthrough on Resident Evil in hard mode. Invisible zombies. Whoa, that's scary, even though you can't see them.
Visible
It's a real mode.
Is that a real
It's a
thing?
real mode.
Fuck that.
What the fuck?
Invisible zombies, yeah,
That
it's a
sounds
real mode.
impossible.
Doesn't sound hard. That sounds impossible.
It's not. People do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
A lot of people do it. It's one of those things like Resident Evil. A lot of people play the game. Like there's an achievement for beating it on invisible zombies. There's also an achievement for beating the game only using the knife.
Yeah, I looked at when that came out. When a game comes out that tickles my fancy, I always have a look at the platinum list. And that one was ridiculous. You had to complete it 7 times or something stupid, and you had to do all the different modes. And
Yeah, it's like the Metal Gear Solid games, so you have to go through them 100
You have
times.
to get all the different endings and different sequences.
then
effectively,
complete
don't
them in
you?
different ways. Like you said, using an iPhone. Like Metal Gear, there was only you could do it without stealth, with only stealth, without killing anyone,
That
without
makes sense.
tranquilizing people,
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Something that works along the idea of
fuck
the game.
that.
It's a bit
God,
much.
no.
Do you not buy a game if the platinum's ridiculous?
Yeah, no, like that won't sell me on a game.
No, yeah.
Like Titanfall 2, the platinum looks ridiculous because you have to get multiplayer top 3 or something like
Well,
that.
anything multiplayer.
Yeah,
is
like in
ridiculous.
the world, it's something ridiculously stupid.
Well, how many people are ever gonna get that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, I still want to play Titanfall 2 because apparently the storyline's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that as
Yeah,
well.
so
actually,
like
yeah.
I'll definitely pick it up when it's cheap. But like the fact that platinum's going to be unobtainable for me, Avatar
Unobtainium.
reference, doesn't mean I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, no.
I just like if it's just something extra to go for. If I'm enjoying a game, it's something like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it, and it was nice to then do a little bit extra to get the platinum.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we get into the game?
Film.
Oh, please, the film first.
Film. Right. So
Thank God.
so last week we had a pretty boring film of
Boring.
Alien Resurrection.
Boring's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, you would imagine you'd be anything but bored with it being a science fiction horror film in space.
Yes.
I keep thinking about it. There's interesting aspects, but it's just really dull.
It's a wonderful series that's been. It's like
The Terminator
eviscerated.
franchise.
it
1
is
and
like the
2 were
Terminator
good,
franchise.
and the rest have been slowly kicked into the ground.
It's true. It is really true. It's for a lot of these kind of like old kind of 80s science fiction-y sort of franchises. They've all gone down that route. But today, where am I going with this? Oh yeah, Shrek. We're doing
Right,
Shrek.
Shrek, yeah.
We're doing Shrek. From one alien hideous creature in space to an alien hideous creature in a swamp.
Great.
Except when they're on land, they call them ogres.
Ogre.
Then why don't they call them space ogres when they're in space?
Because I don't think an ogre's ever been in space. Shrek in space!
Shrek in space.
I've heard that's the next movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. This one has gone downhill too.
Shrek's bar mitzvah did not go down well. I was not a fan.
Shrek's bar mitzvah.
I'm pretty sure there's a Shrek's bar mitzvah.
Yeah. You should have seen Shrek's Ramadan. Shrek's Eid. That was a tough one.
He's just got a religious holiday. Every year he brings out a new film.
He just turns up whenever he wants, doesn't he? He does whatever he wants.
Fair play to him.
Shrek's Kwanzaa's coming out soon. That's gonna be a doozy.
As long as everyone's represented, that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kwanzaa's rarely represented, isn't it?
It's represented in Futurama.
All the fucking
Yeah,
time.
They love Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa bot.
Yeah,
Kwanzaa
brilliant.
brilliant.
Dedicated to it. I don't even know what it is.
He
to be
flies
honest.
about in a canoe. I love that because he gives out the leaflet, doesn't he? He goes, "Oh, I'm just leafleting," and then he shows him and he goes, "What the hell is Kwanzaa?"
Yeah.
But yes, we are
so
doing Shrek.
Shrek. Well, we've all seen Shrek.
Yes, we have all seen Shrek.
I'm not going to bother asking, even though I kind of did.
Yeah, you really you fucking did.
So when did Shrek come out?
Shrek was released, this is the UK date, by the way, 29th of June 2001. So this film is 16 years old.
Shit.
Yeah.
And it was by DreamWorks.
It was by DreamWorks. I didn't get who the director was, actually. That's bad of me.
How dare you?
Yes. But, you know, I would imagine we're all aware of Shrek, even those watching and listening. We're all aware of Shrek, but let's take it as it comes. So it opens up in what you would imagine is quite a stereotypical fashion for, like, a film based within fairy tale.
Yes.
So it opens up with a kind of, like, medieval, dreamy fairy tale type book being described about an ogre in his swamp and this, that, the other, and kind of just going over the rough patches of the film, basically.
Yep.
And then it has what I would say is one of the best opening credit sequences to any film, to be honest.
It is top notch, yeah.
It's simple and stupid, but at the same time, it actually opens you up to everything that you're going to witness in the film.
Everything that that character is definitely about.
Yeah, exactly. He rips up that bit of the book. Well, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
About true love's first kiss. Wipes his ass with that bit of book.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't do it on camera, but that's in the director's cut.
Yeah, sadly we couldn't get that one.
No, it's banned in this country after that scene with Donkey.
Oh God!
You heard the term donkey punch?
Terrible movie.
I tell you what, you never look at Eddie Murphy the same way after that shit. The boy's disfigured.
That's a terrible movie, Donkey Punch.
Isn't it Danny Dyer?
Don't know, but it's shit either way.
He kills her, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
He's a bloke that fucks a woman on a boat and donkey punches her, and she just dies. and he's
then
like,
it's sort of
and he's
like,
I've got to get away.
They're on a boat and then they end up killing each other or something. It's just...
It literally is the most ridiculous premise for a film.
Well, that sounds shit.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't have a game, I will. No, if it does have a game, I'll watch it. If it doesn't have a game, I'll never watch it.
If it does have a game, probably X-rated.
I want to know the type of people that would take on a donkey punching game. Donkey Punch Simulator.
I bet there is one. Wouldn't surprise me. PC.
She's out.
We'll look on Steam Greenlight.
Oh, fucking hell. They'll probably just type in D-O... Oh, there's 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, he wipes his ass with a fairy tale book. He comes out, you're introduced to Shrek with the vocal melodic overtones of Smash Mouth with All Star, which has now become very synonymous with Shrek and every other meme on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, and at least 1 or 2 movies a year, I imagine, They use it. They use it all the time in movies as insert songs.
Is it really being used?
It's been used quite a lot. I'm over exaggerating, of course, once or twice a year, but it was used in Rat Race, if I remember. My brother used to love that.
God.
It's been used quite a lot.
Yeah, but Rat Race actually had the band, didn't it?
It did.
It actually had Smash Mouth in it.
Yeah,
Really?
They've made a lot
yeah.
just from that one song. They're flying.
That's literally the only song they've ever made money from.
Yeah, I can't
They
name
probably
another Smash
lost
Mouth.
money making other songs.
Yeah,
But they're like, it's all right, we're floating.
it's alright, we're fine.
Sorry, I burped.
Smashed it of All Star.
Yeah, exactly. Smashed it.
You do not need
Smash
to apologise about that.
Mouth.
Mouthed it.
But yeah, so he's kind of like going around the swamp. He's like tidying up his beware ogre signs. He wants to be left alone. He's
doing a nice upkeep of his living place.
Yeah.
He's very clean and tidy.
yeah.
He bathes.
Does he?
Yeah, he has a
In
little
mud,
bath.
isn't it? It's like mud.
Still bathes.
Yeah,
Soapy mud.
Pig's bath in mud.
Yeah, yeah.
Very clean, I hear.
Apparently.
Very clean.
Peat bogs are meant to be good for you.
So he has this little opening montage bit, and then whilst Shrek's kind of sorting out his house and his swamp, you get the humans gearing up, the dirty humans gearing up to take down Shrek. So they've got their pitchforks, they've got their torches,
Yeah.
and they're going after him. They go into the swamp. Shrek hears them all, so he darts off, and they're slowly creeping along.
Surprisingly stealthy for
For a massive
cumbersome ogre.
beast, yeah. And then, so then they're all like, sneaking along, and then Shrek's just suddenly behind them.
Yes.
They all shit themselves, and Shrek's quite good about it, really, isn't he? He's just like,
He's not planning to hurt any of them. Really.
No.
He's very much like the BFG, but not as B, a bit less F, and he's not a G at all, he's an O. So he's like the MKFO, the medium-sized kind of friendly ogre.
MSKFO.
Joke of the show. Boom.
We'll just finish it now.
Tom was later fired from Catch Grab.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is when you think about Shrek, when I think about it, you remember all the characters and the lines, like the gingerbread man.
You remember
all the fairy
surprising
tale
amount.
characters
Yeah.
that are hilarious, and they have their little moments. But then the human characters, just the nameless human characters, they're quite diverse, and they are hilarious just because they've all got their such good reactions. But they don't stand out as much. But when you just go, they're funny.
It's true, yeah.
They're really, everything just comes together with all these characters. None of them really fall flat.
No, they're all done so well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their reactions to his threats and the screams.
It's great.
Fucking brilliant.
So the premise of Shrek basically is that it's a fairy tale world.
Yes.
So it's a normal human world, but you've got the fairy tale creatures that we all know and love
Yes.
as part of it. Obviously, a few extras thrown in there because you can't just make a Disney film.
Yes.
A few that I definitely don't remember. I don't remember anything about Stubborn Donkey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the donkey's made for Shrek.
Is he an original one, or is he based on something else? I got the feeling that was an actual.
Tell if you're being serious. I'm assuming he was made for the film, yeah. I assumed he was.
I had a feeling that he was based on an actual one, but of course I'm saying that, and
An actual stubborn donkey.
I've never heard of that fairy tale.
It's bound to be some sort of like, if it is real, if it is already in folklore, then it's bound to be some sort of strange fucking rural German folklore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and the stubborn donkey. Oh, he wouldn't move an inch. And would you believe it? He had Eddie Murphy's voice. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this film has Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, anyone else? I'm naming off the top of my head.
Who played Fuckwad? Fuckwad.
It's brilliant. I was gonna point this out, but it's obvious, isn't it?
It's a very obvious name. Yes.
I was like, guys, I'm gonna blow your minds here.
Sounds a little bit like.
While we're talking about characters.
I was that close. I was that close to you know what.
No.
I was that close.
No editing for me.
Oh,
thanks.
fucking hell. Okay, that's passed.
Yeah. So
We'll get
and
to it.
as we said, Shrek's this antisocial ogre in his swamp. When he scared the humans away, they've dropped a little leaflet saying fairy tale creatures wanted. And then this is where we pan over to our first scene of fairy tale creatures actually in action.
Yes. So we're greeted with, it's basically like a roundup of the surrounding area where Shrek seems to live. Considering he wants to be left alone, I would consider, if I were Shrek, to move to a more isolated part of the world. Because considering...
I know, he was very close by, wasn't he?
He was
Considering
just down
they're
the road,
just
yeah.
down the road and they seem to have rounded up hundreds of fairy tale creatures, you can only assume that they're in the local vicinity.
Yeah.
If you hate being around people, move somewhere isolated.
Well, no, he shouldn't have to go through the trouble of moving just because of everyone else.
Well, they're not going to go down.
It's nice to find your own little place in the world, even if it's not too far.
Yeah, but if you're moaning about people being in your place in the world,
Make a new place in the
then
world.
fuck off.
Fuck off!
It's a swamp. He's probably had that swamp in his family for generations and generations.
That's a good point. Shrek never speaks about his mum or dad.
I think they... Do they come up...
I don't know why I had it in my head.
Do they come up in later... They probably come up in later movies. That's what I'm imagining. And if they don't...
No, you meet Fiona's mum and dad. I don't think you meet...
They're the king and queen.
Yeah, you don't... But you don't meet Shrek's mum and dad that I know of.
So many direct-to-DVD sequels and all that bollocks.
Oh, right, yeah. If it's in fucking one of those or
Would be
random
surprised. But
Shrek's go-karting, then yeah, fair enough.
Shrek's Bar Mitzvah.
Shrek's bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it could be.
I still think that's a great idea.
Shrek's family reunion, and then there's just like two talking donkeys, and they're just like, you're adopted.
So they're rounding up fairy tale creatures. What fairy tale creatures do we see here?
We get Pinocchio.
Yes.
Geppetto being an absolute...
Yeah.
I almost said it there.
Geppetto just don't care. He's instantly just like, I will sell him for 3 gold coins.
This is my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Yeah. So Pinocchio, we have like vague things like fairies.
Yeah,
and...
you see, like, I'm assuming it's supposed to be Tinkerbell.
Yeah, it's like
Because
twinkly.
no, yeah, Tinkerbell, yeah, because Tinkerbell,
Twinkle-bell.
Twinkle-bell. No, because this is where you meet Donkey.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Donkey's owner tries to sell Donkey, but he's not talking. So the guy's like, "Oh, fuck off, you normal donkey. I don't want a donkey. I want a magical donkey." And then Donkey knocks into something, and then you assume it's I've already forgotten her name.
Twinkle-bell.
Twixie fuck, because as she lands on him, she spreads the dust out and he starts flying. And then
She spreads
and then he goes,
the dust.
he can fly, and they start doing that from Peter Pan.
Yeah. He can talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of musical references as well, back to old Disney
It's a lot of
films.
nodding towards things,
Yeah,
isn't
there's
there?
a lot
Yeah.
of it, which obviously you'd expect from a fairy tale.
Oh
film,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
of
done
course.
so well.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this goes kind of. This film moves quick,
Very
quick.
and it's fucking brilliant, especially after our last outing being Alien Resurrection, which to say that film plods is an understatement. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard going, and just nothing happened in half an hour. It felt like we went through so much in half an hour of Shrek.
Yeah, ridiculous amounts.
It felt like half the movie, and then it makes me think like, God, this is still like an hour and a half left. How much more do we got?
You start to think like, well, I'm clearly forgetting like stuff. What am I
else is
missing?
happening?
You know,
Yeah.
The big Robin Hood scene. I remembered that, and I was
That
like,
I
was
forgot that.
great,
See,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
great.
something I'd
one of
forgotten.
my favourite scenes.
But I'd say that this is up there with like Snatch on the most quotable film.
Oh yeah, so many quotes. Are you trying to?
Are you
think
trying to
of
think
any
of
other line?
Snatch quotes now?
Any line?
No,
from Snatch?
I'm trying to think of Shrek quotes.
So
Well,
many.
And I just watched it.
We were saying
you knew them before they came. You were doing better than me.
We were saying the lines before they even came on, or with the characters. It's
But
just
now
one
I'm
of
not
those
watching
films.
it. I can't think of them. Do you know what I mean? Like when I knew, because there was like a line, I was like, I know where this line's going.
Yeah, but like
But
that's
now I
what,
can't
like,
see it.
but like things like, oh, that's a nice boulder. I like what you've done with that
Oh
boulder.
yeah,
Like,
I like
just
that boulder.
just stuff like that is just like you would
all
just
alone.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
loads of it that you could just remember and just say back.
That is true. Yeah, it's incredibly quotable, and in some ways I don't know why. Do you know what I mean? It's like because in ways there's nothing.
It's delivery. Then the delivery of it, because it's so. I mean, Eddie Murphy's voice. When I first heard him, because I haven't seen the movie in a while, I was like, "Oh, he's a bit grating. He's a bit grating." But I suppose that's what Donkey's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
And
And Eddie Murphy.
and Mike Myers' delivery, and so much in just the accent as well, just makes it stick.
Yes.
It makes everything funny. And then you've got like the lines from the Gingerbread Man in that little voice, or the three little, he huffed and he puffed and he signed the eviction notice. It's just like when you attach them with the accents, they're beautiful.
It works.
It's one of the keys of this film is the voice acting all around, like forgetting just the key people. All around is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and
Like,
I'm
it's
sure there's
brilliant.
probably a lot. We were saying like trying to go through names. I'm sure there are quite a few big names in there.
There's got to be.
But
Like, I'm sure.
there's just
Yeah.
quite a few good voice actors.
Yeah,
They've got
it's
really good talent there.
It's just
Yeah.
a really like well put together voice casting, and a well written script. And when you've got that as a mix, you're on to a winner.
What it does make me very sad is I can't remember any good movies that Ed Murphy and Mike Myers have done after this.
Afterwards,
I'm sure they have. I'm sure there must have been one or two.
I don't know, because this is verging very close to the Guru territory with Mike Myers.
I never watched that. I
You're
never
lucky.
wanted to.
No, well that's it.
And Eddie Murphy went on to do like Norbit and shit like that.
And Haunted House. Did he do Haunted House?
Wasn't that
It
an
was in that,
animation?
but I thought that was before.
Was it?
I have literally no idea, to be honest with you. I'm not really going to chime in because I can't think
No.
of like, what they've done afterwards.
No, but I mean, it's. I think this
always
was
have your-
kind of like. I don't want to say the pinnacle.
But
Because
There's still always room.
I'd
They're
really
still
like to
working.
hope that
They're
like
still working.
next year they'll both come back and do like amazing things.
Yeah, I think Mike Myers been up to a few
Shrek
things
4.
recently.
there's been Shrek 4.
Is it?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes. I think there's been like Shrek.
There was
11.
Shrek 2,
They could do.
Shrek the Third, Shrek Happily Ever After,
Shrek's Bar Mitzvah.
Shrek's Bar Mitzvah,
They could
Shrek's
do
Christmas.
Shrek
There's
5: The Phantom Pain.
That'd be great. Could you imagine that? Metal Gear Solid 5, but you're playing as Shrek. I've got Metal Gear Solid 5 on PC. I might see if there's a mod to play as.
I'm sure there is. After the
When you do the robot punch, just goes. Somebody wants.
I'm sure there must be a lot of Shrek mods because we didn't look at the video. Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
Have you seen that?
I don't think I have.
Oh, we have got to show you after this.
It's the most fucking disturbing thing you'll ever see in your life.
You start just laughing, but you end in tears.
Or
Happy
you
tears
start
or-
crying
No,
and you end
broken.
laughing, but broken laughing.
You end broken either way.
Okay.
You will start bad and end worse.
Or
Well, I'm
you'll
glad
have an
that-
epiphany and you'll move over to Shrekism.
Shrek.
That's just,
Shrekism.
I think that's probably.
Is that after Shrek celebrated every other like racial holiday?
Right, that's
or,
why he's been.
religious
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
He's doing a
That
movie.
he then makes his own religion.
Yeah, he's appealing to everyone from every faith
Corner of the world.
and then he grabs the ones that are taken with him and he brings them back to his room, and then
Just the title Shrekism.
Yeah,
It's
not a
bringing
good
out
one.
really bad things in my head.
So right, so
Where were
basically, so Lord Farquaad. It's really hard to say his actual
Lord
name.
Farquaad.
Fuck.
His mission
Yes.
is to be the best king of I forgot the place.
Dula.
Duloc.
Dulok. So he tortures the gingerbread man
Yes.
to find out where the
Fairy tale creatures.
fairy tale creatures are
Oh.
because he wants to get rid of them because they're making his kingdom crap apparently.
He's effectively quite genocidal.
Yes.
Like he's going kind of like
He's sending them away.
Hitler-esque.
Yes.
You know, but in a fun way.
He's sending them to a place. No, I'm not going to say it. No, I was going to make
No.
No.
No, wait.
Well, no.
It's
After you talk about Hitler, I don't want to know where Dan's going.
I don't.
No.
I completely know where I was going, but I don't want to.
Yeah, so do I, and no. But Lord Farquaad.
It's great when
Lord
Shrek says his name.
Fuckwit.
Because when he says it in a Scottish accent, it just sounds like fuckwad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, so he's a bit small.
He is a bit small. Yeah.
A little bit small.
He's a little bit small. He is a little bit small. But he doesn't let that deter him.
No.
In fact,
he carries on.
He's got quite typical small man syndrome.
Yes.
Which, leads up to one of Shrek's wonderful dad jokes.
Yeah, so Shrek drops a lot of lines in this that are just like typical dad jokes, but they're fucking hilarious.
But the thing is, I know I didn't appreciate them when I watched this when I was 11 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't appreciate that at all.
Yeah.
And watching it
You're
now,
right along with Donkey, just with blanking it out.
But watching it now, they're my favourite thing.
Yeah, they make it so
The
funny.
dad jokes are the best. They are the fucking best thing in it. So when they turn up in Duloc and they see Lord Fuckwad's candle?
Candles.
Or a castle.
Big dad. Candle.
Big old candle. A giant candle.
Imagine the size of the match you would need to light that thing.
Fucking
He's off on one, he's off.
Let's not spill any water, Tom. So basically, Shrek. So Shrek rescues Donkey, and then
Let him go.
yeah, I'll just let him go. I'll go. So then, you get all the fairy tale creatures turn up at Shrek's swamp, and Shrek obviously gets very pissed off by this because still going because he wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to be disturbed by fucking hundreds of people, hundreds of fairy tale creatures and animals and whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So then he teams up with Donkey to go and speak to the Lord about getting rid of them all. So then he goes in, and this is where we got to the bit where you loved, Dan, with the guy's scream.
Oh no, Tom loved it. I mean, I loved it. I loved Tom's reaction to it. He started him off again. As soon as they get there, the guy in the big spark. Tom, you get back into it by talking about your favourite part. I thought it would work. It didn't.
He's gone.
When they show up, and he makes the comment about the tower, the castle. Are you back in the room? Do you want to?
No, he's not. He's
Because we
gone.
still haven't got to that point.
He's still gone.
He's like, do you think he's compromising for something? That's the dad joke, obviously talking about his penis.
Well done, Dan. Jokes only get better when you explain them.
He's actually. It's funny because he's actually a really small man. He might have a massive penis.
It could be.
Small things come in. Wait, no. Large things come in small packages.
Well, no, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Oh fuck!
But
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about here?
Oh fuck!
So he goes in to see the Lord, but the Lord has got the magic mirror. In the meantime,
Yes.
and they do a bachelorette style.
Take me out.
Let's find you your princess so you can become a real king.
Yeah.
And he gets
A real boy. You were going to say real boy.
a real boy. Well, he is a boy, and he's only little.
Yeah.
So you've got Snow White. No, Cinderella
White.
first.
Cinderella.
Then Snow White.
And Princess Fiona. Yes. I love the bit when he's saying who's the greatest king of them all? And the mirror says, well, you're not technically a king. He goes, Salonius. And his torturer just picks up a mirror and just goes, smashes it to pieces. I mean, you're not a king yet.
all eyes is on him because he's hilarious.
It's absolutely brilliant.
He's such a good villain.
Yeah.
But even the kind of adult or adult themes in the humour of picking the bachelorettes.
Yeah.
It's like with Cinderella, what was it? a beautiful yet mentally scarred woman.
Yeah.
Who loves cleaning and like being pushed around by her evil sisters. It's like, oh yeah, she sounds nice.
I loved how no one was really clapping for her. There was one guy who was sort of like. Snow White got a bit of applause after the. She may live with 7 men, but she's not easy. And I was like, I'm surprised she went down as well as she did.
But Salonius just steals that whole scene because when he's got to choose, everyone's like going, "Oh, go, do blah, blah, blah," and filling out, pulling out suggestions. And Farquaad's there racking his brain like, "1, no, 2, oh." And then Salonius is like, 3, pick 3, my lord. It's like, fucking, you're the best.
It reminds me of what band was it when they were like, we got
Bullet for
2
my
more songs,
Bullet
and they're
for
like,
my
hold out
Valentine.
3 fingers or something like
Okay, on the count of 3, I want to see all of you fucking jumping.
Oh, so good. So then he picks Princess Fiona, who is protected by a dragon at the top of a volcano that is active.
Yes. One thing I want to just throw out quickly. I wanted to throw it out earlier, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But
Were you laughing a little bit?
Yeah, I was. It was tough. Oh, fucking hell. Don't, because I can really feel it just there. And I know if one thing tickles me just right, I'm going to be gone for another long time. So
It's going, you can see it. It's slowly bubbling up.
That's why I'm trying to have a very serious... I'm not doing anything funny right now. Very serious.
Oh, no.
Although this is 2001, and the animation is dated somewhat, it still looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, like I think you notice it. There's a scene when the camera like goes in, like zooms into Donkey's face, and that's when you can notice the animation's not 100%.
Yeah,
Donkey does look a bit weird, actually,
but it's still aged so well.
It has. I mean,
compared
16 years, 16 years, and it looks really good.
When did this come out? 2001.
Yeah, 29th of June.
Didn't Phantom Menace come out around now?
Yeah, it's like 2000, 2001, yeah.
And if you look at this, I know this is like a CGI film that's cartoony.
Yeah.
And Phantom Menace was CGI to look real. But the CGI now looks terrible.
Yeah, but it's just a misjudgment doing CGI in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know why they ever thought it would look good. It didn't look good at the time.
No.
Let alone like now, like
so like
15
you
years
look
later.
at that, and it like that is aged terribly, but Shrek's aged pretty well. And I know it's cartoony and all that shit, but still, the point stands.
It's one of the first. Well, not the first, but one of the first.
Use your microphone, Daniel.
It's one of the first DreamWorks films I remember just going, I love that. I'm sure there must have been some before, but
yeah, I can't even think of any other DreamWorks films.
No, like literally, I'm lost. Honestly,
I'm lost.
Goosebumps the game.
Is that a DreamWorks game?
Yeah.
Well, they have a hell of a library.
Yeah.
Shrek Goosebumps the game.
That sounds like one game. Shrek's Goosebumps the game.
Where were we? So he's
the fight scene.
He's gonna have a tournament to choose who's gonna save Princess Fiona because he's not gonna do it himself.
And he's willing to let anybody die for him.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
So Shrek shows up, looks at his castle, makes a judgment. Might be true. And then oh God, here we go. The guy. Talk about the guy in the big hat.
The guy at the light.
Yeah. Because I want you to talk about it. Because I know it's going to make you laugh.
I keep thinking about the match.
For fuck's sake.
When what my mind's doing, this is the problem. Right, I have this domino effect going on. So I think a giant candle must have a giant match. But then a giant match needs a giant hand. And a giant hand must be attached to a giant thing. And I've just got this crazy thing going with like a giant person, but it's a child, and the dad's bigger, and then they're on their heads in another planet. There's more candles. There's candles fucking everywhere.
What the fuck? Right, so you've just had a slight insight of Tom's mind there.
Yeah, we'll move
It's
past
a terrifying place. You don't want to go.
So they get into Duloc. Let's just move.
The man in the line.
The man
in the line's fucking great. So they turn up in Duloc, massive place. You would expect it to be like a metropolis, packed full of people.
Yes.
And it seems empty. And they've got a queuing system, like, like a snaked queuing system. And there's like an attendant, and it's like a guy with an oversized comical Farquaad head. So Shrek moves forward, goes, "Excuse me," this guy just...
It's like because he's got the head on.
Like,
it's like it's got all the reverb inside as well.
It's like he runs away by following the snake's cue,
Yeah.
and every now and then just hear like, "Oh, oh!" It's fucking brilliant. It's just so over the top and comical. I love it. It's slapstick.
Great.
Oh, so I liked that.
Yeah.
The entrance into the square is great because they have to listen to the song about the rules, which I think that's one of the more
That was very well.
lines.
There's a lot of films could learn a lesson from Shrek, to be honest.
Just how fast paced it is and how well it explains it all. As well.
Yeah,
we're
you
like
don't
15 minutes in at that point.
Yeah, you don't need to spend 10 minutes setting a scene when you can actually perfectly describe a scene, a location, its characters, and what's going to happen in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, like so.
And be engaged.
Yeah, so like a perfect example of that is so they have a fight scene, which was a pretty good fight scene. It was very like WWE, WWF kind of. Like,
Yeah.
He's doing suplexes and
Dramatic.
it was all that. It was good. I enjoyed the fight scene.
the crowd
Always
getting on his side
solid.
and...
Yeah, but after that, he beats up all the people, and then he makes a deal with the Lord that if he gets Fiona, he'll get rid of all the fairy tale creatures from his swamp.
Yes.
So then he fucks off, him and Donkey.
Done.
And then Donkey, in about 10 seconds, just quickly lays out, "Oh, so we're going to go and rescue Fiona, bring her back to the Lord, and he's going to get rid of all the creatures from the swamp." And the Shrek's, And then like straight away, if you're somehow lagging behind of what the storyline is, you're brought up to speed. Like within seconds, and it's natural.
That's
You
all
come
it
in
takes.
late. You come in late to the theatre. You done.
You don't. Oh, I know the plot. Like it's straight in. It's obviously a simple plot, but like you're just straight into it, and it's very quick.
But there
and
are
easy
so
to
many
get you
films
going.
that have simple plots and simple premises, and they overcomplicate themselves.
Yes.
This doesn't do that. In fact, quite the opposite. It's like, well, this is a simple plot and a simple premise, so let's keep it simple.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's good. Simple
it
as
works.
that. Exactly. But yeah, so they start setting off on their adventure. Lord Farquaad's given them the green light to lay down their lives for his benefit, I guess.
Yes.
Selfless, wonderful, brilliant,
Lord
tall
Farquaad,
man.
yeah.
So they're basically setting off on their adventure. They have their typical ogre's onions talk. You know, everyone knows that scene.
They all know it.
Yeah. And then it has its little montage into them going into like the Badlands and the fiery volcano place. And that's where we have Shrek's second dad joke.
Yeah.
Which is better than the first, I would say. So you're then introduced to the massive castle.
Princess Fiona's castle.
Yeah, amidst a lake of lava and, stormy skies and cracked rubble bouldered surroundings. Sorry. And he goes, "Well, sure, it's big enough, but look at the location." And Donkey's there just like stonewalling it.
Straight over his
Yeah.
head.
Oh, I mean, that one's just funny because it's not crass in any way.
It's a property joke.
Yeah, it's like property joke in a kids' film.
It's brilliant. Like it's so targeted at adults, and it's a fucking property joke.
He
It's
thinks
brilliant.
it's so funny, and it is, but he's sort of like, all right, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
You didn't...
It's like Shrek's jokes just always land flat, but like they
yeah.
don't with the audience. Like the grown-up audience, they're great.
Yes.
But with everyone else in the film, they just land flat.
It makes it more funny, like jokes like a property joke in a kids' film because it's so out of context.
Yeah.
It shouldn't like the two shouldn't exist together. But it does, and because it does, it's brilliant. It works like magic, absolute magic. So then basically they have to cross over a rickety bridge over a lake of lava to get to the other side and enter the castle.
And that's where we got to.
Yeah.
And that is about it, yeah.
It's just really nice because you only spend so much time with the characters over that amount, but it knows who to focus on. You've seen great moments with the villain, and you do get an idea, a great analogy of what Shrek is, what his life is at the beginning, what he wants, the scene at the dinner table, which will then be focused on later again when he's back alone and he's lost something.
A part of himself, maybe.
And you get like when he's helping Donkey cross the bridge. And at first I was like, oh, he's being an arsehole shaking the bridge trying to get him across. But then he's like, oh, so you did it. And
That'll do, Donkey.
Yeah, he's showing that
do.
Donkey has the courage to do it.
yeah,
Yes.
and it is it's just really nice. And what I love about this movie even more was when I found out that the original actor for Shrek passed away. He died.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know that.
no, never die.
I think he I can't remember his name. Apologies for that. But he passed away maybe doing after some lines or maybe not even any of the lines. He must have recorded a few.
Mm.
Then,
Christopher Lee.
definitely not Christopher Lee.
Why Christopher Lee?
Because it would be such an unfitting Shrek, wouldn't it?
He would be.
Come on, Donkey.
It's like Saruman.
No, Donkey.
Oh, dear. So Mike Myers came in and he recorded everything, and I think he recorded everything first in a northern accent, like Hull or something like that.
A Hull accent.
I
Yeah.
don't even, I
You
don't
can
know
find-
what whole
I
accent
cannot
is.
even imagine.
Or maybe something a bit different, but I think it was along that sort of line.
Bull?
And I think you definitely know that. You idiot! That's what Ed Murphy did. That's what he did his first lines in.
A bull
Bollocks. Don't know where I'm going with that. But he recorded all of his lines, and I think you can find it on YouTube and stuff if you try and look for some first recordings. And then Mike Myers just went, "Nah, don't like it," and he decided to do it in Scottish.
It does make
It
make
works.
sense.
It makes
And
it better.
absolutely
It's
worked.
fitting for
Don't
the
know how much
character.
money they must have spent on going back into the studio recording it, but
worth every penny.
every penny.
Look, think about if they didn't do that, what may not have happened.
Yeah, because part of Shrek's charm is his accent.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
It's. I mean, I really respected just the idea and what happened, and made the movie a bit more like ooh for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Mike Myers.
Mm.
Just not anything he did after this, really.
No.
Aside from Shrek 2.
He's a
But I
little.
think he must have done
He's a
something
little
good
chunk
by
of
now.
comedy royalty, though.
Yeah.
And because of that, and so is Eddie Murphy. Really, I mean, like in the '80s and like early '90s, he had like this ridiculous comedy career.
Yeah.
His early stand-ups and stuff, he was hilariously funny. So I mean, he's a part of comedy royalty too, and it does come across. You know,
Yeah.
they've just been given the right direction. You know, they've been given an awesome script for a film that can appeal to kids and adults and be witty and funny and engaging.
And there's still space for them to come back and do great stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, maybe someday. Go on, give it a shot.
I mean, if they haven't
can
already,
be funny
maybe,
again.
maybe there's something that's gone over my head and I just haven't seen it because you get into that sort of phase where you go, oh, I love those actors, but they do something to piss you off and then you don't pay attention to them for a while. Like Johnny Depp. I heard he's great in
Orient Express,
Can't
yeah.
wait to see that.
Yeah, I want to see
Yeah,
that.
I really want to see it as well. Although Adam fucking spoiled the plot for me.
Don't.
Well, no, Adam just told you who got murdered.
No, he
Did he tell you the murderer as well?
he did tell me. He
Doesn't matter.
wow.
told me like everything. I was like, I really want to see that. And he was
Doesn't
like,
matter,
oh
I've
yeah,
read
it's
the
great.
book.
And then this person killed this person. I was like,
Thanks, mate.
dickhead.
Because apparently they made it different to even the original.
Yeah.
So
Oh, they
even people
changed
seeing
it.
the
They switched
original
it up,
don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting because I've read
Yeah.
the original. I was like, don't ruin it. I was like, don't matter.
Apparently they
Definitely
switched
don't
it
ruin
up.
it then.
No,
No,
they switched it up.
not gonna
Like,
spoil it.
Adam's totally fucking ruined it for me.
That's why he's not here. Tom killed him.
Yeah, he's
Mystery
done.
solved.
he's done. Yeah.
So we'd all obviously carry on watching Shrek again.
100%. Absolutely.
Would you watch Shrek 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Shrek 2.
Good, because we're gonna do that episode at some
Yes.
point.
We don't have to do anything after that.
We will.
Anything.
Oh, we will.
Anything.
Shrek the Third.
Mitzvah.
Right. So
Um,
from a wonderful film to a equally wonderful game.
So none of us had ever played the Shrek 1 game before.
I can't imagine why.
Me and Tom had Shrek 2 on the GameCube and loved it.
yeah.
Really?
So that's
Oh,
why
it's great.
that's why I'm kind of looking forward to going back to Shrek 2
Mm.
to see how the game is from our memory.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to see
Where it
where
started.
where it started, and yeah. I might cry.
I don't think so. I mean, I know this is an indicator that things are bad, but we
We'll
actually, actually read a little article whilst we were setting up the game to play, and it said this is widely known as the worst Shrek game that's ever been made. And that's no small notion because
it's the worst game that's ever been made. It's fucking terrible.
No, it's not the worst game. Powerpuff Girls was worse.
I'm actually.
I don't know.
We'll get.
I mean,
we'll
I think
get
this
there.
is worse.
We'll get there.
Yes, there's been like 26 or something ridiculous Shrek games.
This is bottom of the barrel.
So to be bottom of that, especially with like shitty mobile
it's
games.
Almost an achievement.
26 is just unreal in the first place.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, there's like Shrek karting and shit.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Shrek.
I can't wait to play Shrek karting. We've got to find that.
Bummitter.
Oh,
must be a game.
So the
don't
games.
want to know what happens in it.
Of them.
So the game's on GameCube.
Well, it was
Shrek
originally
Extra Large, yeah.
Yeah, it was originally Xbox exclusive, and then it was quickly ported over to the GameCube.
Why was it renamed after the port Extra Large for the GameCube? Is there a reason?
Probably just to like make sure
Differentiate
people
it.
know that it's the GameCube version.
Okay.
Yeah, or it's just trying to be eye-catching without being clever.
Cool. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah, most
evil
likely
one.
that.
So it was released on 15th of November 2001, and here's a little interesting fact. This game was developed by a company called Digital Illusions CE. I want you to put those together.
Digital Illusions. I've heard of them before.
DICE. No way was it made by DICE.
This was made by DICE before they were known as DICE.
Fuck off, was this made by DICE?
If you don't know who DICE are, these are the people that produce, these are the people that produce Star Wars Battlefront, the current ones.
The new ones.
Battlefield series. This is what they were doing before Battlefield.
You need your bread. You need
Digital Illusions CE DICE.
You need
made
your
this
bread
game.
and butter money, don't you? You need
So
to get
DICE
the money for the kids.
had a bloody rough start in life, didn't they? But they're smashing them out of the park now.
Yeah, and it was published by TDK, which I don't think they do much work these days.
TDK, isn't that like a television brand?
Probably.
was.
Probably. Oh shit. So this is. When I stumbled across it, I was a bit like, "Fucking hell, no way, it can't be." But yeah, I checked it out. This is DICE. This is their beginning.
Developed by DICE. I cannot believe it.
It's fucking
From
crazy,
this
isn't it?
to Battlefront 2.
Yep.
Like DICE are known for like the most realistic looking game. They're known for their Frostbite engine. They're known for just like expansive worlds.
It's good to know
that
there's hope,
immerse
isn't it?
you.
And Shrek Extra
And
Large.
they made Shrek Extra Large. That is unbelievable. I cannot believe
It's
that.
great to know that you can start from anywhere and go up from there.
Anyone has a
a
chance.
testament to show that if you don't succeed, try again. Because eventually
Yeah.
you'll be all right.
Because
down
I
the
mean,
line.
they did not try at all with this game. And if
Or-
they
or they
did,
did, and they just
they
they
were
just
terrible.
lack talent.
God.
They lack talent and drive. If you're watching on YouTube currently, where was I going to go with this?
You can see the terrible gameplay.
Yes, that's
I mean,
it. You
just
can
from the
see
get-
the terrible
from the
gameplay.
get-go.
You knew.
So, right, so we should get into the game. Right, so the game kicks off, and the first thing, when you can press a button, right, the first thing is it releases a massive burp, right? And then you know what you've got to let yourself in for, because you can't even start the game without hearing a burp.
Can we talk about the menu, by the way?
Oh my!
Because the menu, the background of the menu is a decompressed 4:3 scale picture of the film.
I just don't.
There's no.
And it just says start game.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't even an interesting part of the film. It was the part where he's pulling earwax out of his ear. I mean, that's got nothing. Why?
It was out of frame. It was put in incorrectly. It was badly rendered. It was. I mean, it's one of those things.
My brother
Start as you mean to go on. You know, it kind of went that way.
yeah, so we knew what we were getting ourselves in for just from that. I can't believe it's DICE. I actually can't get over it. So
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
So yeah, you get into the game and you think it could be good.
I don't think I was thinking that at all.
Right.
I don't think that ever crossed my mind.
And then you start off and you're at Shrek's house.
Yes.
and you get some horrible little. You got the magic mirror telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Someone doing a very bad impression of the magic mirror.
Very bad.
Oh.
You start running, and this is when you realise
you never stop.
Shrek's running speed, without sprinting, just his running speed, is faster than Usain Bolt. Fucking on crack.
Coke.
Yeah.
Is that when he like puts his arms out, sort of like he's gonna barge a door open?
No, that's when he sprints.
Oh, for God's sake.
That is unhuman level of like that is ridiculous. It is insane.
The thing is, it reminded me of something really obscure, and I watched a documentary once. It wasn't a documentary; it was like one of those really shitty like fact programs, like Discovery or some shit. And it was talking about if the abilities of an animal were transferred to a human, how would it translate into real life?
So like a cheetah into a...
Yeah, what the equivalent would be. So they were talking about a flea. I'm sorry, that's the second time. Bad of me. I'll just...
I was just thinking if a flea could jump and then like a human had to jump.
So if a human could... So like the flea... How it can jump?
I said if a flea could jump.
No, they're known for swimming.
Never seen it do it.
So like the flea, in terms of how it can jump like X times its body height or its size, it would be the equivalent of a human jumping over the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
That's how high like their equivalent of jumping is. And when I saw Shrek sprinting, I thought to myself, it's very much the equivalent of like, I'm trying to think, like, you know those spiders in the desert which zoom like around. It's like that. If the human had that sort of speed in a body this muscular, it would fucking fly. In fact, the skin would probably peel off your body. You'd be going so fast. You might even break a sound barrier. It reminded me of that.
He was close to breaking the sound
barrier. And I think he did because he made no sound as he's running.
Oh, God.
Which means he's broken the sound barrier.
Yeah, he's
the sound
so
barrier
fast.
is gone. Sound is beyond you. So Shrek, I mean, he's deterring a bit from his movie persona. Shrek in this game can break sound barriers by sprinting. He can also fart and burp on command.
He broke me.
So the opening bit is your
tutorial.
So training tutorial stage.
Yeah.
Your first bit is jumping.
Yeah.
So you jump over a fence, then you learn wall jump. So you're like, all right, well, Mario 64 mastered the wall jump pretty well.
Yes.
And that came out a while before this. So
you had a couple of years to...
You only assume they've played Mario 64 and gone, right, this is how Mario does it. Let's do it like that.
Let's implement that, yeah.
So when Mario does a wall jump, he runs at the wall. Then when he lands on the wall,
uses one leg.
He is sliding down, facing away from the wall. And when he jumps, he bounces off, facing the direction he is bouncing into now.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
When Shrek does it, he runs up to the wall and then
plants both feet
ever so elegantly
fucks the wall.
Just bounces off. I can't tell you how he does it because there's no animation.
No.
So you jump at the wall and then you press jump again and you just bounce off. Still looking at the same wall you bounced from, but you're bouncing backwards now.
It's like rocket propelled.
And there's just no way to control it. And a couple of times I got glitched and I fucking went flying up in the air like, out of nowhere.
This game is the most bug and glitch riddled piece of shit we've ever had the privilege of having on Cash Grab. It's so full of crap. It's unbelievable.
It is, yeah. And then the second part was the fighting stage, where it showed you've called it. I don't know.
Well, it was just telling you how to punch, kick, and grab, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just someone in the middle of the stage who's got to punch, kick, and grab them exactly like that. So
and fart on it? Yes.
That came next.
That was next.
Oh.
But the combat is similar to Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said it,
but worse.
Sense.
But worse, considering Simpsons Hit and Run combat was
bad
shit.
combat,
and
really bad.
And it was just put in for fun. Like,
it was literally for fun.
Yeah.
There was and the people went flopping over.
Like
as
it was
a joke.
Yeah, it was just like stupid. But this was like, no, our combat is that.
What?
And then enemies just get knocked out and then they get back up again. So you can't even like get rid of them.
No, they'll come back. And
they just come back.
You can throw them off. You can throw them off a cliff, and you'll hear them go, "Oh!" and then they'll wake up and go, oh, where am I?
Yeah, they're completely fine within like a minute. So in the third training room was the farting and burping room.
The look on your face was so disappointing.
The thing is, right, so this game...
Life handed you lemons today, Steph.
Yeah, and I did not make lemonade. This game, right, it goes into the fact that ogres are supposed to be these, like, vile creatures that we don't want anything to do with, and they're just disgusting. Right, that's the like stereotype of the ogre. That's why
I mean, that's what they put forward in the movie as well.
Yeah, and like he burps and he pulls earwax out of his ear and lights it and all that kind of stuff. And this game just takes it to the next level where you can do farts, which make a green cloud. And I don't know what they do. Do they poison your enemies?
Stun the enemy or something.
They stun your enemies, and then you can eat chilies, and they give you fire breath, and then you can make explosive farts. It's just, but like to do them is really weird because the GameCube has, the controller has like a
click.
It's like a soft click and then a click for the L and R's. So it's like soft click is to fart and then full click is to burp, but then the left one does the fire burp. So like to do like an explosive fart burp. Like, I don't even know the combination.
I don't think they designed the controller around this game.
I don't get it. Like, it's like, hold down L, hold down R a little bit, and then, like, maybe it made sense when people play GameCube all the time, but, like, going back to the GameCube and, like, remembering that the GameCube has
I remember how GameCube implemented its controller, especially for, like, Mario Sunshine, and it knew what it was doing with a soft click.
Yeah.
Here, it was just cobbled together.
Exactly, yeah. But, like,
definitely.
It's a typical Nintendo thing of, like, oh look, here's our gimmick, and we'll only use it on one of our games, and no third party will.
Yeah,
and like that's
we'll
why you
use it
forget. Yeah, that's why you forget about it because like Nintendo Switch, they banged on about the 3D rumble feature of the Joy-Cons, and apparently like there's a 1-2 Switch, I think it's called. There's a game anyway, and you're supposed to hold the Joy-Con, and it vibrates, and then you have to guess how many like ice cubes are in the glass on the screen by the vibrations. Apparently, it's really really well done, so you can actually tell, there's 3 ice cubes in there.
That's quite crazy.
Yeah, but I've got Mario Odyssey, I've got Mario Kart, and I've got Mario Rabbids. I love Mario, apparently.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I was looking at my collection the other day, I was like, they all have Mario in them. I need to sort this out.
You call it a collection.
Yeah, 3 games.
My massive
I'm
library.
getting there.
I will get Breath of the Wild at some point.
Hell yeah.
But I've got it on Wii U, yeah. Anyway, yeah. And none of them have implemented it. I thought Mario Odyssey would have at least something to do with it, but I haven't had anything yet. So take that with a grain of salt. But
yeah,
I've completed the main storyline, and I still haven't seen anything of the 3D Rumble feature. So it does feel like one of those typical Nintendo thing when they just don't. They put a gimmick in and then just kind of back away from it. Like the Wii U gamepad, like they used a few games that utilized the gamepad in a good way, but then apart from that, they backed away from it.
Or fitted it in because they thought like,
we got to do something with it.
Yeah,
like a few HD remakes. Like Wind Waker used it really well,
but
then like Breath of the Wild didn't use it at all.
And Star Fox
if you don't need
had it in as like a really,
fun.
really bad fucking implementation, like motion control.
If you don't need it, don't use it. Just don't overcomplicate it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
it. Yeah.
If it ain't broke,
but
fix it. If it is broke, fix it.
Like this game, just put it in the bin.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's really broken, set it on fire.
So then before we got into stage 1, should we just go through the graphics?
His face.
Can we talk about Shrek's face?
I'm pretty sure if they're watching the YouTube video,
they would have seen me
they've
zoom in on his
seen
face.
his face like a couple of times now.
So-
Yeah, I couldn't help it. The Z button is the perfect button because the Z button zooms straight in on Shrek's face. It's like
Why would there be a button for that?
It's like they know that you're gonna look and take the piss out of his face. And the other thing, right? You go into the pause menu to change the
options.
Yeah, because like your C stick is inverted left and right.
Fair enough. Of course it is.
Fine, but whatever. I'd give me the option to change it, but you get the options for like rumble on or off and music. That's all your options. Like you can't. There's nothing else you can do. My God, Tom, tell us about the nightmarish face of Shrek.
So I'm right. Well, I'm very confused about Shrek's face because we all agreed it looks quite feminine, yeah.
Yes.
And at one point,
looks like a woman's face, but with Shrek's face on top.
Well, like at one point I was like, and I know this is going to sound weird, and I know you two are going to be like, "What the fuck?" But like, no, seriously, stick with me, bear with me. So at one point I looked at him and I thought, it kind of looks a little bit like Cameron Diaz, but
Okay, what?
But if she had been punched in the face repeatedly with brass knuckles.
Well, but then it could look like anyone.
No, of course not. She'd still be pretty, but pretty beaten up as well. He can't.
No,
like he.
I don't see it.
But
Definitely didn't look like Mike Myers first.
it looks like Mike Myers, the murderer.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Myers.
Surprisingly, they didn't get him to do the voice acting.
There was no voice acting from Shrek at all. People are talking to him, and he's completely
blanking out. It's like he's got like a real, like, he's like ADD or something. Because he's just looking around. He's like,
yeah, and he's like scratching his ass, picking at his ear.
Someone's talking to him, and then he just walks off.
Yeah, and he just fucks off.
If they talked to him at all, there was that one cutscene right before we finished playing. Old MacDonald on his farm.
Just like,
I love how you
just like faded to black.
I love how you paused and it was like, oh, we can skip the cutscene. It's like, oh, that was an accident. Thank God we didn't skip the cutscene. And then just like just 5 seconds of him just standing there.
Yeah, what? It was
cutscene.
It really reminded me. I watched. I didn't watch it. I watched a part of a terrible film called called The Last Vampire on Earth. Right.
I think I've heard of that one.
It's basically the worst Twilight ripoff you could ever imagine. And there's this one scene where the girl who's meant to be like Bella from Twilight, she's talking to Edward, and Edward, well, he's not Edward, but the
Edward character,
and he kind of looks like Shrek.
I'm guessing that Edward was Cedric Diggory. Cedric Diggory?
Dickory?
Yeah.
He played him as well. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
That's the one.
Yeah. So they're having this scene, and it turns out just by this random twist of events that this girl's just like, "It's so good you're studying medicine. I've got AIDS." And then the guy just goes, looks at the camera, and it just fades to black. And I was like,
oh no, I shouldn't have.
And I was like, this is an hour and 20 minutes in, and there's only 10 minutes left, and she's just dropped a bombshell that she's got AIDS. And
has he
drunk any of her blood?
No, well, there was this whole thing about turning her into a vampire so that the AIDS wouldn't affect her because she would be technically undead.
Okay, so it wouldn't affect him either. But that should be the way.
Yeah, but then, like, there's this brilliant scene. I know I'm going a bit off topic, but there's this brilliant scene, I'll be really quick, where he's like, goes over to her parents, and obviously he's got to pretend he's not a vampire. And so, like, oh, come over for dinner. And it's literally just like a fucking KFC bucket because they had no budget to get real food. So it's just like a KFC budget and they're all just eating KFC. But because he's a vampire, he's like really slowly eating this KFC. And then there's a 5-minute scene of him being violently sick because he can't eat human food. And then she just walks in. She's like, "What's wrong?" "Oh yeah, you're a vampire, aren't you?" And it's like, what the fuck is going on? But it reminded me of that, like the cutscenes in this, where it's like someone would just be having the worst dialogue, like Little Red Riding Hood.
Or Little Bo Peep.
Yeah. And she's like, "I've lost my bag. Oh, there were sweets in my bag. Maybe you can find them. There's a rock over there. Anyway, nice to meet you, Shrek." First of all, he didn't introduce himself. And then Shrek's the whole time. She's over there and Shrek's going,
yeah,
rocking back
and it's like, right, he looks like he's about to maul someone off screen.
It's like he hasn't had his like latest fucking meth hit.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is,
you overdo your trank dart.
Little Red Riding Hood finished her like bad voice acting. For a movie that had such good voice acting, how did you get no good voice actors?
Yeah, I mean, it's shockingly bad.
But then they go into the book where it tells you your mission.
And it repeats it.
Exactly, but with someone that is maybe a woman who's got the most decent voiceover in the game.
Yeah, she's got her best voice, but like...
Yeah.
So why do you repeat it?
So the game doesn't give you a storyline as such. The game just kind of...
Yes.
It drops you in, and then here's Little Red White Riding Hood, and she's like, "Oh, I've lost my basket. if you need to meet the Ice Queen, you clearly need to get me my basket back.
And you're like, Ice Queen?
Who the fuck's the Ice Queen? And then like later on, there's another character goes, oh, you don't like the Ice Queen? Well, we don't like you. And then like
that's literally the delivery of the lines.
Yeah, and then your enemy, and then you just start the game, and then they're like, oh, an ogre! I just saw you. But yeah, so the game
just moving just to different areas and doing random fucking tasks.
Yeah,
like
so
finding fairies,
that's
finding
what
eggs.
the game is. So the game is it's kind of like a Mario 64-esque game. Bear with me here. So you've got the overworld map.
Tough.
You've got the overworld map.
Yeah.
You go into
Which
a new
actually
level.
wasn't terrible.
Well, the best part of the game, I suppose.
Yeah, it was literally like a bare map with just circles that had a kind of environment on
I
them.
like the way that when Shrek was running on the map, it kind of had like the dotted line,
map
like he was following. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Definitely best part of the game.
it's basic stuff, and it was the best part of the game.
Actually, I quite enjoyed a bit later on, but I'll talk about that in a second. So the game is basically, yeah. So the way I compare it to Mario 64 is, you go into a level and you've got 6 or 7 objectives, and you need to complete them, and each time you get like a gold medallion, and then
Oh, don't
you're
forget
done.
your round of applause.
Oh yeah, and a fucking
A really
useless round of it's just like
A couple of people with stock lines going, yeah,
And
yeah,
Shrek,
good,
and
all
Shrek
right.
going.
yeah. Whilst picking at his ear
It's
as
like,
well.
oh
Jerking
shit, what the
randomly all
fuck's
over the
happening?
Shrek's having a stroke.
Stop clapping, you're upsetting him.
Yeah, so
clap the freak.
so it's done similar to Mario 64 in the way of like you're collecting your stars. That's
Yeah.
literally the way I could see it. You have your objectives and you need to complete them to get your reward.
I gathered there
Yeah.
were 6 golden eggs and 5 blue random fairies that are flying around in every stage.
Every level, yeah.
And then 4 area-related tasks.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, but that's where it ends. So like that is literally the comparison over now. You go into a world and you have
And there's-
objectives to complete,
I love it.
and then you're done, and you go into a new world. Objectives. To complete.
Your comparison condensed down is you go somewhere and there are things to do.
Yeah, basically.
That is
That's
literally
exactly it.
That is it condensed.
That is it. But yeah, there was one later on. They were all terrible.
Oh my god.
But there was one later on where I had to get the sheep for Little Bo Peep.
Oh my god.
And there was
A
this,
moment of bliss. It was fucking brilliant.
bearing in mind, this game is so bad, we were all on the edge of like delusion. And there's this wolf who's just wandering around beating up the sheep. And each time I meet a character, I try to kick him because that's what you do. So Little Bo Peep just told me like, oh, this wolf keeps like chasing away my sheep. Can you put them back in the pen? So I thought, yeah, sweet, no worries, I'll give it a go. But first, I was trying to kick you. So I ran up to her, fucking booted her. She flies off, and like then you could pick up Little Bo Peep and like throw her around.
Oh my god!
And then
The
like
pickup animation of enemies was hilarious.
yeah, it was
They
so
don't
good.
move. They don't even like flail. You've just got them like
They
you
don't
picked up a
fight.
broomstick.
They don't fight.
And then it's like,
It's like, oh!
just hold them up with one hand. It's like, I'm gonna beat you now.
The
But
thing
like-
is, it's one of those things. It's like if Shrek doesn't come across as a psychopath while you're speaking to him, then afterwards, I'm sure he'll surprise you. It's like fucking hell.
When
But
you
like,
get the
It's
sheep into
totally
the pen.
fucking
But the
psychotic.
game shows how broken it is at this point, right? It's because the difficulty is meant to be that as you throw sheep into the pen, the wolf goes back in the pen and kicks them out of the pen.
Simple,
Right?
simple, right?
So that's supposed to be the annoyance. So I got 2 or 3 sheep into the pen. The wolf went in, kicked one out. You know, I was like, okay, it's actually working. Then the wolf went in, got stuck, and like started booting them out, but somehow getting them back in. So like my counter was
counter's
going
like,
3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, what the fuck's going? I don't know what's going on. But then I ran over and the wolf had fucked up.
And then little Bo Peep was just like in the middle of the field. You're like, what the fuck are you doing there? Oh well, might as well pick you up and lob you against the rock wall. You know.
It reminded me of the.
And then you're just like, where's that last sheep? Wait, who's this dickhead?
Oh my God.
It's like, well, that fucking happened. Anyway, I'm gonna go pick up that fucking sheep. Oh look, the wolf's fucking back. Ding 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 ding. It was just the biggest clusterfuck.
Can I talk
Absolute
about
shit.
the part that broke me? That absolutely broke me. It was when you met Hansel and Gretel.
Oh my God, I forgot about Hansel and Gretel.
And you've got to get them across the bridge when that is being guarded by the wank monster.
It's true.
So Hansel and Gretel need to get to the house, and the only bridge is being guarded by what looks like a rock with like 4 arms, and it's got a club in one. It's wanking off with the other. Don't know what the other two are doing, but he's sort of like, "You don't get past me," and he's like. He wasn't even hitting you, Steph, wasn't he?
No, like I'd stand near him and like he had the one hand doing that, and then he had the other hand with a club that wasn't moving. So he was just like that, and then I'd walk near him and I'd get hurt. Like I don't understand what was happening.
You still managed not to die in that entire playthrough, so well done to you.
But yeah, Hansel and Gretel, go on, Dan. Keep going. I'm done.
It's just you can't defeat that thing, and then we realise, oh, okay, there's a way to get round. You knock down a tree, just fucking somehow.
Yeah,
That was just ridiculous.
can we talk about that? We did. I think 20 explosive farts on it. For oh well, that's not moving. And then when we were doing nothing, it began rocking, and Dan. I thought Dan was losing it. I was like, right, Dan's going to do this because Dan was like, that tree's moving, and I was like, no, you've just played a shitty game for too long. That's what was happening. And then I looked at it and I was like, it is fucking moving, and it just fell down. I was like,
oh, I don't know how it fell down. It
One of
leaned
those-
the other way, and it was like a dead tree. It's like someone had axed it to shit. Leaned the other way, and then decided, nah, I'm gonna go over the river.
yeah, if 20 atomic farts won't move it, maybe a small gust of wind will.
Well, it seems to.
So you made a path for Hansel and Gretel. But let's talk about Hansel and Gretel themselves for a bit.
Was it Cookie?
Yeah,
about a cookie?
You can hear them in the distance before you even start this mission. All it is one stock line of, I want the cookies.
Yeah, and
I want the cookies.
Yeah, and it just fucking goes
So,
and goes and goes.
As soon as you interact with them, and then you get
I'm
told
gonna hear
your
that in my
mission,
dreams.
So as soon as you go near them, it starts a little cutscene, and it starts off with, I wanted the cookies, and it's like, yes, we know, we heard that from a mile away.
Yeah.
Can you say something new, please? And I mean, the voice acting in general was just really weird, and every now and then there was a really like camp delivery. Of just from some of the enemies.
Just like those fellas just walking around.
It's like,
oh,
stop it! What are you doing? Most of the others were boring and annoying lines, but it's just every now and then there must have been one guy in the crew that was just having a laugh.
It's one of those things where like,
But
if the first few aspects of the game don't suck away your soul, then the next few probably will. And if those don't, then the ones after that will. It's just a constant barrage of things which slowly whittle you down as a human being.
But the thing is, I don't know if I just played the wolf section and the Little Bo Peep bit, like before the rest of the game, would I have found it as hilarious as I did, like going and enduring the rest of the game?
That's a point.
Like did the game whittle me down so much that I found picking up Little Bo Peep and throwing her into oblivion like the funniest thing I've seen for a long time? Was that what is that?
I think it's one of those things like,
but
if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But we can do that because we've made the decision to play this game, and we've realised it's shit from the get-go. But people paid for this, and like you said, Tom, it was probably parents paying for their kids. It's a kids game.
Yeah, for sure. I would have been
travesty.
absolutely gutted if someone bought me for this when I was a kid.
It's like I said, we'd only been playing it for about 5 minutes at that point. It's something you'd buy for your kid if you really hate them.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know, if you really despise your child, buy them Shrek big and tasty or whatever it is.
Extra large.
Extra large. All
I've
that.
got to mention one last thing
I
about
hear they're both shit.
Oh, it's gnawing away at me, so I'm going to say one more thing about Hansel and Gretel. When you're leading them across the bridge, their object permanence is just non-existent. Because they follow you at a really slow pace, and you've got to move at their speed. Because if you go half a metre away from them, they fuck off.
They're just gone.
Can we talk about
go back.
Hansel having an obsessive grope of Shrek's arse while running as well?
You were just constantly like hugging Shrek's arm.
I was
want some
like,
cookies.
if that fucker turned around and you got to see what's on the other side, you wouldn't want to grope it, mate.
No.
You wouldn't want to grope it.
But the thing was, right, so you finally led Hansel and Gretel to the gingerbread house. Right?
I don't even want to remember.
And then the cutscene, right, we've got a cutscene, so we're like, oh, maybe this will be good. I don't know why, but we kept thinking maybe there'll be
There must
something we
be
can latch
something.
onto, and it was the fucking overwhelmed map at the end of it all. But this bit, right, was like, it zoomed into the house, and then
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel were there, and then a wall disappeared, and there was a magic egg behind it. And then it like zoomed back out again.
It was the big onion to
Oh,
fart and
Oh,
blow
that
up
was
the
it.
door.
It was a big onion.
You got
yeah.
a power up.
Yeah, so the wall just disappeared. I got my big onion and I went and blew up a wall. Oh, it was just so bad.
Everything
Painful,
about
isn't it?
Right, and yeah, one of the reviews said repetitive dialogue, and they
Fucking
are
hell.
not wrong.
It's
Jesus
an understatement of the
Christ.
century, isn't it? Repetitive
Right.
dialogue with no dialogue from Shrek.
Yeah,
From
Should
a
we,
game called Shrek.
How
should we call this?
buggy, how
Yeah,
buggy it was.
let's
When you were going up
let's
those stairs.
Would you play this again? Lads?
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Oh my god, no.
Shrek
No.
is love, Shrek is life.
Oh god, you do need to see
You
that.
need to see this after. It's
Bird
I don't think it's anything as bad as this game. I think you should really
Right,
watch
so-
the
Right, so should we do top 5, bottom 5?
Let's do it.
We'll do Cornwall.
Okay, so
Right. You doing it, Tom?
I'll do top 5, you can do the bottom 5. So in number 1, we have GoldenEye on the N64. Number 2, we have Alien Resurrection, a new entry on the PlayStation 1. In number 3, we have Warriors for the PS2. Number 4 is Hercules for the PlayStation. And number 5 is Aladdin for the Mega Drive.
Funny that 2 of our top 5 are like fairy tales. Hercules and Aladdin.
Yeah,
Disney would put a lot of work into their games, obviously.
damn sure.
Oh yeah, I'm doing bottom 5. Aren't I? the other thing I realised was that our top 5 are all not a cash grab, except from GoldenEye, which was mixed.
Yes.
So that really does say something, doesn't it?
Yes.
And our bottom 5, all cash grabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so Little Nicky Game Boy Color, Back to the Future Part 1 for the NES, The Crow for the PlayStation 1, Wayne's World for the SNES, and Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction for the PlayStation 1. Right, so it's safe to say that Shrek's going to be somewhere down there. We're going to knock one of those bottom 5s out. And you know what, mate? It's probably going to be that Back to the Future is going to be close to getting out the bottom 5 after this.
That can't happen.
It's crazy, isn't
That
it?
can't happen.
But-
That game's so fucking shit.
Yeah, but look at the GameCube and what the GameCube could do, and then look
Look,
at this game.
Look, can I just jump in straight away?
Go for it.
I know what you're going to say.
Look, it's got to be below Powerpuff Girls. It's a generation ahead. Was released the same year, and it's still. I mean, it's so shockingly bad. And our Powerpuff
can't
Girls
believe
game
it.
was broken. Like, I know the game was pretty fucked up anyway, but our game was broken.
Yeah.
This game was actually functioning, apparently. do you see what I mean? This game was apparently working, and on a console which is superior compared to the PlayStation.
Okay, remind me what's above Powerpuff Girls.
Wayne's World for
Yeah.
the SNES.
Right, here's what I'm thinking, Tom.
Go on.
This is the worst game I've ever played.
Yes.
Without a doubt. But I don't want to put it underneath Powerpuff Girls because I want to piss you off.
No, that's not
So I'm now.
That's not fair.
I'm in a difficult position here.
No, that's not fair. If
But
you think it's the worst
I
game
have
you've
to
ever
go
played-
with my heart.
Yes.
And oh my god.
You weren't here for the Powerpuff Girls episode, though, were you?
No, I was.
Oh, you
Unfortunately.
were?
Yeah, it was-
I was
it was
Adam.
Adam who
Adam
wasn't
wasn't
here.
here.
Yeah, I was adamant that it was a terrible game, but
It is terrible.
I mean,
I've come
it's a
to admit
game.
that.
It's a game. I don't know what this fucking abomination was.
I cannot believe so quickly that
We've got a new
we've got a new bottom.
No, tell us where you
but
thought
yeah,
you were going to put it.
I can't dispute the fact that Powerpuff Girls is like. Oh.
What, did you not like this game, Steph? You were having so much
my
fun playing it.
God, I literally can't
Your
believe
face, your beaming
that a
face.
Shrek game could be this bad.
I mean, come on.
From like how good the film was. You know what you said last episode about we haven't had a contrast of such a crap film to such a great game.
And
it's
now
the
such
opposite.
a crap game to great film.
Such a great film. It's just like one of the worst
Yeah,
things I've ever
we've had
played.
2 hugely contrasting episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
Hugely
that was a huge
contrasting.
contrast last episode, but
Yeah.
this episode is even bigger. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
there's the
It
chasm.
really is. The chasm, that's a good way.
Like,
It's a hell of a
I don't know
chasm.
how we even managed to play this game for half an hour.
I know. I thought you were going to give up.
Delirium,
I thought
it's
we were going to give
fucking
up really
delirium.
quickly,
We're
but I
out
mean,
of
it
it.
was just pure
Somehow I
insanity.
just
Yeah.
went in, but I can't. I'm trying to think of why this game could be anywhere in the bottom 5 other than bottom.
The movie was so.
And it's not possible.
The movie
And I
was so-
literally can't. Like,
The movie was so fast paced that I was going, how far are we in? And it's like, only 15 minutes. Wow, oh my God, it's going really fast.
And you're always engaged. Yeah.
Always engaged. And then I was exactly the same with the game. I was like, how far are we in? Only 10 minutes. Oh God, kill me. I think we've been here for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So, bottom. So so what? 27th.
number 27.
Number 27. So that means Powerpuff Girls isn't the worst game anymore.
I can't believe
was
it.
short-lived. I loved
Yes!
it. I loved it, but it was short-lived, and there's no argument that.
Freedom.
And if anything, I liked that last just to piss you off. But, I want Shrek to be last, and I want it to stay last.
Yeah,
Forever.
I
Forever
really.
and a
Well,
day.
I completely agree with you because I don't want to put myself through anything like that again.
So,
I don't think I can mentally cope with it. Do you know what'd be amazing though is if we found that this wasn't a cash grab and then like the bottom one wasn't a cash grab. but I know.
Steph,
I
come
know.
come on, mate. You're not stupid.
Let's get to it, shall we? Let's put it out of its misery.
For fuck's sake, Steph. What sort of a question is that?
Give me your reasoning.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Although, look, let's be honest.
I literally don't have any reason.
While I was away for a bit, you did, what was it? Cool Spot. And you told
Yeah.
you've decided that wasn't a cash grab.
It's
It's
It's not a cash grab.
It's not, no.
a character made for.
Yeah, and that's why in
There's a lot
in
of-
the game there's no 7-Up like advertising except from like little bits.
In Europe, there was nothing. Like, nothing.
Honestly.
And even in America, there was very little.
Dan, you're
wasn't-
gonna have to watch the episode, mate.
I've watched it. I wasn't there, so I can't say, and I've got no. And you've made your decision. I think your decision is unbelievable.
But the thing is, Dan, it doesn't matter anyway.
Nothing
But,
matters anymore. Not after this game.
Half the internet probably agrees with you.
Not after this episode. Oh Christ.
So, is it a cash grab? Should we quick fire this one? 3, 2, 1.
Cash
Yes.
That's what it's the reaction. Well, the fact that the game done so well on the Xbox, so they thought, you know what, we should probably port it over to the GameCube so those Nintendo lovers can also play it. Which is where I was, because I didn't have an Xbox, but I had a GameCube.
Likewise, yeah.
Was the Xbox game pretty much just that?
I'm sure, yeah, they just ported it over.
Great.
So the fact that they thought,
Brilliant.
you know what, this game is so good, we need to give it over to the GameCube guys so they can play it as well. So like
When you say give it over, do you think they were just sort of like fucking just take
it?
take it.
Like, it was so,
Take it.
so the likes of me and Tom could play this game.
Yes.
Lucky you.
But we
Have the
weren't
privilege.
lucky enough. Oh yeah, it's a cash grab, isn't it? It's so bad.
It's a cash grab, and by far the shittiest cash grab we've had.
I can't believe we got a new bottom so quickly.
Oh, I'm so thankful. Oh my god. So, viewers and listeners, thank you so much for listening to episode 27 of the Cash Grab podcast. By far my favourite episode,
Without
because
a
the
doubt.
Powerpuff Girls have been redeemed. So I am ecstatic. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on SoundCloud or iTunes, follow us. And be sure to keep following us and keep tuned because we have new episodes every week. Get a hold of us on Twitter and Instagram at Cash Grab Podcast.
Yeah, I've just realised one more thing about Shrek.
Oh,
Fuck.
God, no.
The music.
No. The music, I'm not remembering it.
Why did you have to do this?
Please, no.
I signed off. Can't this nightmare fucking end? Fuck!
No!
Fuck! I want
music-
it to be over.
The music, much,
No.
much like the dialogue, was very repetitive.
Oh my God.
Is that it?
I love how
Is that
I
it?
love
Is
that.
what you
I
wanted
loved
to
how at
say?
the beginning you were sort of like, it's got good music.
Fuck's sake, Steph! Why did you do that? What the fuck was the point?
Because I'm going to have to put music at the end of the video for the people, so I might as well tell them it's repetitive now.
I'm not signing off again. That's it. We're cutting it.
We're signed off, we're done.
You
I'm done.
you can choose where to edit this episode and call it off.
Now.
Maybe when I throw it.
Bye!
Bye.
Oh, bye.